Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to 30 Days of Sketches. So this is today's sketch right here. I'm pretty sure it is by Allison Davis. Yes, it is. It's by Allison Davis. And I'm going to be using my Punta Cana album kit. So let's see what I can do. Alright guys, so I'm starting out with these 3 photos. 2 of them are of me sipping my margarita, and one is of a photo of my margarita and Christopher's Virgin Pina Colada in the background. So every night we would go sit out on this little kind of deck slash lounge area, and they would have nightly entertainment. And we would call it drinks and pastries because that's what we would have. We would have a drink and pastries before dinner. So it was a favorite, nice, relaxing thing to do of ours down in Punta Cana. So I am documenting that. Have a lot of pictures of us doing that because we did do it every single evening that we were on the trip. So I am looking forward to having them documented in different ways. Now I'm loving the fact that this sketch has these long strips over on the right hand side. I am not going to make mine so narrow, and I'm also going to overlap mine, and I'm also going to distress mine. So I am making the sketch my own. Now, everyone is telling you it is okay to make the sketch your own, and of course, I've been saying that all along, to do your own thing. And I do have to say, I am glad that there are a lot of people embracing the do your own thing mentality in scrapbooking. For so long, we were told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and I really just appreciate the fact that there are so many scrapbooking celebrities, content creators, like big name people telling you to do what you want now. And that makes me ridiculously happy, right? Like, it just does. I'm so glad that the scrapbook industry is turning that way as opposed to do this, do this, do this. At least what I am seeing. Hopefully that is the case for everyone, and you're not feeling like you're being told what to do, because Lord knows I hate being told what to do just in general. So when people tell me what to do with my scrapbooking, that makes it doubly hard for me, and I get doubly ticked that somebody is daring telling me what to do. So I went ahead and cut down those scraps of paper, and I went ahead and distressed them with my Close to My Heart distressor, which they don't make anymore, and which I still have not found my Tim Holtz that I purchased. Pretty sure it made its way home with someone else at a retreat. Now I am going to take my silicone brush and take some Heidi Swapp gold texture paste. This stuff is old as dirt, you guys. And I'm just going to add a little bit of gold color to my paper. Now, I have multiple gold mediums that I like to do this with. One is texture paste. I do have some really beautiful gold acrylic paints that I also use. Anything that will lay that gold color down. You could even use a mist and paint it on if you want it to. Any kind of aqua pigment, watercolor, whatever you want to do to get your gold on the paper. This was the first one that I saw and I grabbed, so it worked for me. I'm also going to put a little bit of tulle down. I love the texture that tulle gives you. It gives you gorgeous texture. It gives you something other than paper, and it's cheap and it's thin, and it doesn't add a whole heck of a lot of bulk unless you are making it bulky. Like if you are putting a big old tulle bow on your layout, then yes, it's going to get bulky. However, doing it like this doesn't make it bulky. I did staple the tulle down to the page, so I am going to take some washi tape and cover up those staple backings on the back of my layout, because I don't want anything getting scratched or anything damaged while I'm taking my layouts in and out of my page. So my strips are not long enough to span what I need them to span. So I am going to tear them, and that will be our little secret, because my photos are going to cover up the bits that are torn. You're not even going to know that they aren't full pieces of paper that span from the top to the bottom of the page. I am going to use some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I find that liquid adhesive works really well when you're doing anything with texture. So I've got it over top of this texture paste, and I've also got it over top of the tool, so the liquid adhesive will grab a hold, it'll get into those nooks and crannies, and it'll just hold on to it a little bit better than a dry adhesive will. Gives you much better adhesion. This one I was tempted not to tear, but ultimately I decided to give it a little tear as well. So I am going to spread that one out. And again, using the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. So at this point, I'm not really looking at the sketch. I do know that there are these banner type things, and they are represented as different types because of the shading on them. So I would assume that that is meant to be a different type of paper or embellishment or whatever. I did think about using ribbon as well. Washi tape would be a good option for those stripes. Anything that is kind of long and skinny. Border strips, for those of you that hoard border strips or use your border strips, that would be a good option. I don't. They go straight into the bin, so I don't really worry about that. Now, I did grab some khaki colored cardstock, and I thought I was trimming it down to the correct size, but I didn't. I trimmed it down a little bit too large, so I had to go back and cut the mats down after I got the photos on top of them. And this is where I reference the sketch, because I wanted to see exactly how the photos were laid out. And I followed a similar pattern of how they're laid out. I decided to put the drinks in between the two photos of myself. I just felt like it looked better that way. My original intention was to have the two photos of me next to each other with the drink on one side. That changed, right? Like that just changed. Since I do have this big old gap here in the center of the layout, I lay down a little bit of fun foam. And what that is going to do is allow my photos to stay lifted off of the page so that they don't sink down in the center. Now, if you wanted something sinky, you definitely could have, but for me, I did not want it to sink. I've got these Heidi Swap stickers that are in my Putakana kit. So I'm going to go ahead and layer up a label and also this gold sticker that says "That Happened." I have gold in the background, so I wanted to bring a little bit of gold up to the foreground as well. Now, this is the only other place I add gold to this layout, but I felt like that was enough. I didn't feel like I needed to go ridiculously crazy with my gold. Now, in the sketch, there's a lot of decoration. There's a lot of embellishment with representation by flowers and butterflies, but I'm not going to add so much embellishment just because I feel like since my paper strips have gone to be so large and they are covering up a lot of real estate and there is a lot of different color going on and texture going on, I don't really need that much more embellishment to make the page feel finished for me. I am going to pull out these sticker books. Now, I am using Simple Stories Simple Vintage Coastal. This was a 2021 collection, and I picked it up off of Peachy Cheap. I got like the 6x8 paper pad and the sticker book and some die cuts and things. And then I had a couple of full sheets of it just because I enjoyed those papers. But I'm not working out of a whole collection kit. What I am doing is using those things and supplementing with coordinating product that I already had in my stash. And that is really what gives me the most joy, is to get a couple new things for a project and use coordinating product from my stash. Now, that I can't say that for Disney, because there are times where I buy specific things just to complete a Disney album. So Disney is always like my outlier for my philosophy on albums, I would say. There's always a little bit something different over there. Now these are flat stickers, but I am going to overlap them here. I chose this teal one that said happy, because being out there nightly was happiness, you guys. Like, we just had a great time being with each other, enjoying each other's company, and the entertainment. So I am thinking about adding in this sticker as well, because there is a lot of embellishment in the sketch. However, I felt like it was too much. So that comes off, it goes back into the sticker book, and I did go ahead and use those strips because I felt like they were a good match for what I had going on. Plus the strips are there in the sketch. Now, my title is not going to be a long title like it is depicted in the sketch. My title is simply one word called Sips, and that will do it for the title. Now, this Simple Stories color vibe in coral is a great color match, I think, for this collection. And it's funny because the color vibes came out before the Simple Vintage Coastal, but it's a great color. I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, I do have this little scrap of lace. Now, normally, you guys, this kind of scrap would go straight into the bin, but since I am doing one big cohesive album, I do keep scraps of things that would normally get trashed within the album kit, just so I can use it multiple times to have cohesion through my entire album. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to get those lacy bits down on the page. And then that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this day of 30 days of sketches. Make sure you check out the playlist of everyone who is playing along. And I will see you guys again real soon for another video.